Hi everybody, and welcome back to my videos, whether you're watching on YouTube or Rumble, whichever one you happen to be watching this on. Alright everybody, so I recently heard about a teacher who was fired, I guess over a year ago, for misgendering a kindergartner. First of all, no ordinary kindergartner identifies as trans or any of that stuff. They don't participate in any of that pronoun stuff unless they've sort of been brainwashed by their parents. What's the word I'm looking for? Encouraged to, or sort of led, taught. This is why this stuff should not be taught in schools. Kids are so impressionable that they might pick them up and learn anything from it. Just for fun, they might see it as playing pretend or something. And I think the parent of this kid cares more about it than the kid. I think it was a biological female who supposedly is a transgender male, which, like I said, kids that age, they are too young to be making that kind of decision. I believe that's something that the parents put on this kid. I mean, there was a time when you never heard of transgender children. It was unheard of. How in the world did transgender children become normalized over the course of, about 14, 15 years? I remember sometime during Obama's second term, around 2010, 2011, that even though it's something else that I find interesting, even though I remember during around that time period, but it happened overseas, in the UK or something, I think it may be in Australia. It was talking about genderless children, people who are raising their kids genderless, and we'll just let them decide when they get older. Now those kids are old enough to be in their early teens. I bet those kids are so confused right now. And then a transgender 11-year-old at that time, that same kid would now be in their mid-20s, maybe early 20s. That's how long ago it was. Like the kid was about 11 years old. I believe male to female trans. That was wild. Back then, back then, it was starting to get like, this was so weird that it made news. Now it's become normalized. How in the world did transgender children become normal? How did it get normalized? Why? Doesn't make any sense. Let them they are too young to make that kind of choice. And some of them may have been pressured into it or whatever. I've heard of people who are detransitioning, who were basically manipulated, the way they describe it, into transitioning as kids. Now they're in their 20s and they regret it. And they see it as, and they now realize that they were manipulated, basically. So yeah, and this was in California, and I believe California has passed a new law, or maybe that was Colorado. There was maybe California did too, I don't know, that basically forces parents to go along with whatever gender identity their kids go along with, or else it would be considered child abuse and their kids would be taken away. That is crazy. So yeah, that is it for this video. Bye.